What if I told you that everything you've been carrying, every unanswered question, every quiet prayer, every tear cried in silence, was never ignored? What if this moment, this very one you're in right now, was actually scheduled in heaven, and your heart just answered the call? There was a boy once, let's call him Michael. Michael was 17, quiet, overlooked, a misfit. While his classmates chased dreams, accolades, and noise, Michael buried himself in books. Not because he was trying to prove something, but because something inside him whispered that life had to be more than the shallow patterns he saw around him. He carried questions he never dared to ask aloud. Why do I feel like I don't belong? Why do I see things others don't see? And the biggest one, God, if you're real, was I made for something more? One night, right before midnight, he stumbled on a page in a book by C.S. Lewis. Just one line. If I find in myself desires which nothing in this world can satisfy, the only logical explanation is that I was made for another world. He dropped the book. His hands trembled, and he whispered, "Is that why I've felt this way all my life?" That night changed everything. Friend, what if you're Michael tonight? What if that stirring you've been ignoring, that aches you've tried to numb, is actually heaven whispering your name? This isn't just a video. This is your invitation. God doesn't just want to inspire you. He wants to interrupt you with purpose, with calling, with a mission that's been written in heaven's ledger before you ever took your first breath. If you're still watching this, it's because heaven scheduled this divine encounter with your soul. So before we go any deeper, pause, breathe. You didn't stumble here. This is sacred space. And I want to ask you, if your heart is already stirring, if you've been feeling something you can't quite explain, hit that like button, subscribe, and activate the bell so you don't miss what heaven is trying to pour into you next. Because what's coming isn't entertainment. It's an awakening. Now, have you ever felt hidden? Not just unnoticed by people, but unseen by purpose. Have you wondered, why is nothing working? Why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward, but I'm stuck? Hear this, you weren't buried. You were planted. God hides the ones he's building. Even Jesus, the Son of God, spent 30 years in obscurity, carving wood in Nazareth before ever performing a single miracle. 30 years in silence, for 3 years of ministry that would shake eternity.
What?
Because heaven doesn't rush glory, it refines it. Psalm 139:16 says, "All the days ordained for me were written in your book before one of them came to be." You've been seen, you've been written, and you've been hidden for divine unveiling. The pain you felt wasn't punishment, it was preparation. Like Michael, your soul knows this world isn't your home. The restlessness, the ache, it's not a flaw, it's a signal. But here's the twist. What if the very season you tried to escape was the soil your calling was sprouting in? C.S. Lewis once wrote, "Hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny." Your hiddenness wasn't heaven's rejection, it was its strategy. Let me ask you something. Have you been trying to perform your way into purpose? Trying to earn God's calling by being perfect? Stop. Stop striving. Start surrendering. God doesn't choose the polished. He chooses the willing. And in that courtroom of destiny, the enemy might have tried to accuse you. He brought receipts of your past, evidence of your flaws. But hear this. Heaven doesn't consult your history to approve your future. The gavel has already dropped. The verdict, not guilty, fully called. Romans 18:33 declares, "Who will bring any charge against those whom God has chosen? It is God who justifies." So if God's already ruled in your favor, why are you still living like you're on trial? Here's what I want you to do. Drop this phrase in the comments if you feel this word touching something deep inside. I was hidden for heaven's reason. Write it now. Declare it. You're not just waiting for your moment. You are the moment. And here's the question your soul's already asking. If God called me, what do I do now? Oh, we're just getting started. So, what do you do now? You listen. Because the stillness that's surrounding you right now, it's not emptiness, it's strategy. The world will tell you to hustle, to grind, to make it happen. But heaven? Heaven teaches stillness. Because stillness isn't passivity, it's prophetic positioning. Let me take you to Exodus 14:14. The Israelites were trapped between Pharaoh's army and the Red Sea. Fear was choking them. But God didn't say, fight. He didn't say, run. He said, be still. I will fight for you. Friend, this is a stillness season, not because God's not moving, but because He's moving for you. When the world sees silence, heaven sees setup. You feel stuck. You're not stuck. You're being stationed for divine impact. C.S. Lewis wrote, God whispers to us in our pleasures, speaks in our consciences, but shouts in our pains. If you've been hearing a shout in your spirit, it's because your silence has made space for the whisper. Elijah learned this too. In 1 Kings 19, he expected God to speak through wind, fire, and earthquake, but the voice of God came through a still small whisper. Sometimes God doesn't move the mountains around you. He strengthens the voice within you. And here's what I want you to hold on to. Stillness isn't about inactivity. It's about intimacy. It's where your authority is forged, not flaunted. You've cried, haven't you? When no one else saw. When you whispered prayers through clenched teeth. When you felt like your yes to God went unnoticed. But Isaiah 45:3 promises us this. I will give you hidden treasures, riches stored in secret places. That secret place, that stillness, that's where God plants the treasure. Don't despise the quiet. Heaven does its best work when no one's watching. And can I speak to that voice in your head that's been trying to shame you into silence? That voice that keeps reminding you of every failure, every time you almost gave up. Listen, you didn't break. You birthed something. You were not in a breakdown. You were in a birthing. The shaking wasn't destruction. It was delivery. You weren't being dismantled. You were being developed. You've been thinking, why does everything feel like it's falling apart? But the truth is, it's falling into place. Ephesians 20:10 declares that we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do. That means you are not figuring this out as you go. You are walking into what was always waiting for you. Every storm you've walked through, it didn't come to drown you. It came to develop the swimmer in you. You were being shaped, not shattered. And now you're not just coming out of the storm. You're coming out with a sword. Because the battle you survived has given you authority. You want to know why the pressure has been so intense? It's because of what you carry. It's because of who you carry. Romans 18:19 says, for the creation waits in eager expectation for the children of God to be revealed. You are being revealed, not promoted by man, unveiled by God. The pain? It wasn't the point. The purpose inside you was. You don't need a stage to be seen. You don't need applause to be validated. You need to remember that heaven already approved of you when the world didn't know your name. And here's the part that's going to hurt. In a holy way, what if your pain wasn't a mistake? What if the rejection you experienced was a redirection? Joseph in Genesis was betrayed by his brothers, thrown in a pit, sold as a slave, imprisoned for years. But when his moment came, he looked at the very ones who hurt him and said, you meant it for evil, but God meant it for good. Can I ask you something raw? What if the people who hurt you actually positioned you? See, Joseph didn't become bitter. He became better. Because purpose doesn't grow in comfort. It grows in the crushing. Isaiah 61:3 says, He gives beauty for ashes, joy for mourning, and a garment of praise for a spirit of heaviness. So what do you do with your ashes? You offer them to God. And in exchange, He gives you something holy. If you're feeling that in your soul right now, if you know you've been carrying weight, tears, questions, write this in the comments right now. The crushing was creating my calling. Say it. Claim it. Write it. God didn't just bring you through that valley to survive it. He brought you through it so you could speak life from it. Your wounds are about to become windows, portals where the glory of God shines through your story. You've been hidden, you've been silent, but now heaven is issuing the call. This is not a season of retreat. This is a season of release. And the question rises again. If you were hidden for this long, what exactly is heaven about to reveal through you? Oh, beloved, wait for it. What is heaven about to reveal through you? Purpose, authority, a version of you that hell feared would wake up, a son, a daughter, a vessel that was never meant to live hidden behind labels, loss, or lies. This is your unveiling. I need you to feel this. You are not walking out of a storm as the same person who entered it. You're walking out anointed, armed, and assigned. What felt like your ending was never your burial. It was your becoming. Let me remind you what Paul writes in 2 Corinthians 5:19. If anyone is in Christ, they are a new creation. The old has gone, the new is here. Not will be is here. The version of you that doubted, that felt unworthy, that sat in silence while everyone else ran ahead, that version is gone. What remains is who God always saw. What remains is the real you, called, confident in Christ, carrying authority that was forged in fire. C.S. Lewis said, hardships often prepare ordinary people for an extraordinary destiny. You are not ordinary. You are evidence of the extraordinary hand of God. Do you know why the enemy fought you so hard in silence? Because he knew what would happen when you started to see yourself the way heaven already does. Because he knew once you stepped into identity, you'd step into destiny. It's not about becoming someone new. It's about remembering who you've always been in the mind of God. Before you were broken by life. Before you were told you weren't enough. Before that moment made you feel too far gone. You were chosen, not tolerated, celebrated. 1 Peter 2:9 says, but you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession. Not someday, right now. You don't need to earn it. You just need to embrace it. Your scars, they're not disqualifiers. They are signatures. Evidence that what should have taken you out only made you stronger. You've been released from the courtroom of condemnation. Now you're being commissioned for the calling. You're not just walking free, you're walking sent. This is your divine assignment coming into view. Doors are opening, not by human permission, but by divine decree. Revelation 3:7 says, what he opens, no one can shut. What he shuts, no one can open. That means the door that is unlocking for you right now, yes, even in this moment, wasn't approved by man. It was authored by heaven. And this is where the divine twist comes in. You've been asking God to do something new, but heaven is saying, I already did. I made you new. A new thing isn't just what's around you. The new thing is you. That's why the old spaces started to feel uncomfortable. That's why relationships shifted, places dried up, doors closed, and old versions of you stopped fitting. Because the real you, the risen you, was never meant to shrink into old systems. You've been enlarged, not in ego, but in essence. You carry something now. And it's not just for you. It's for the people waiting on the other side of your obedience. You've been walking around the threshold long enough. But heaven isn't looking for more admiration of the door. It's looking for activation through the door. Proverbs 3:5-6 says, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to him, and he will make your paths straight." This isn't just a comfort verse. It's a commissioning blueprint. You don't have to understand everything. You just have to move with trust. That's your assignment now, not perfect steps, but obedient ones, because the door has already been opened, not by might, not by strategy, but by the key of surrender. If you're feeling this burn in your spirit, if you know the door is open and you've been standing on the edge, write this in the comments now. The door is open and I'm walking through. Declare it. Seal it. Don't delay it. Because what heaven started in you, hell cannot stop. That's not poetry, that's verdict. Isaiah 54:17 declares, "No weapon formed against you shall prosper." That means every attack, every delay, every whisper of doubt. They may have formed, but they didn't win. The battle didn't break you, it built you. And now, here's the final thing I need you to carry out of this message like fire in your bones. Your obedience, not your performance, is what unlocks the next. You don't need to hustle your way into breakthrough. You need to surrender into it. God's not looking for your effort to impress him. He's waiting on your yes to trust him. Heaven responds to surrender, and when you say yes, the earth shifts, the doors open, the way is made. Beloved, your unveiling isn't coming, it's here. This is the moment your spirit's been groaning for. This is the hour your calling has been pointing to. So walk boldly, speak confidently. Stand knowing that you've been seen, sent and sealed. Heaven has announced it. Hell can't cancel it. And now, the world is about to witness it. If this message lit something in you, I invite you now. Don't just feel it. Act on it. Like this video. Subscribe so you don't miss what God is about to say next through this channel. And most of all, share this with someone you know is standing on the edge of their own door. Let them hear it. Let them feel it. Let them awaken. And before you go, leave this one word in the comments as a declaration that you are aligned, available, and awakened. Unveiled. You were hidden for a reason, and that reason just stepped into the light.